Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12.
News at 12.
In the local scene, local governments in PIO and Libon welcomed a new agreement to expand an integrated crop management program for salt-affected rice areas. PIO Mayor Evangeline Arandia said continued support from national and provincial partners is key to sustaining the program. Arandia said the initiative will benefit coastal farmers affected by salt water intrusion, currently covering about 14 hectares of farmland. Libon Mayor Mark Gregor Edward Saison said the program directly addresses challenges in saline-prone areas in the municipality. Saison said 6 barangays in Libon are affected by salt intrusion, impacting around 300 hectares of rice fields. Both mayors said the project will help improve rice productivity and strengthen farmers' climate resilience. They added that the initiative is expected to boost agricultural sustainability and support local food security. The program aims to equip farmers with science-based strategies to reduce the effects of salinity and improve rice yields. In other story, the Albay Provincial English Language Proficiency Program has been included in the province's 2026 Annual Investment Program, the Provincial Education Department said. The development was discussed during a Provincial Development Council meeting led by Noel E. Rosal on May 4 at the Governor's Conference Room. Officials reviewed the proposed Provincial Development Investment Program for 2026 to 2031, covering key provincial offices. The meeting highlighted the need to align development priorities with education and capacity building initiatives. The inclusion of the language program reflects efforts to improve proficiency and expand learning opportunities for Albayanos. In other news, pre-registration is now open for the Albayan Job Fair 2026, the provincial government of Albay announced. The event will take place on May 22 at the Albay Astrodome in Legazpi City in coordination with the Department of Labor and Employment. At least 13 participating agencies are expected to offer more than 100 job vacancies, and applicants may pre-register online or scan the QR code posted on the official PESO Albay Facebook page to speed up processing. The job fair is open to all job seekers, including walk-in applicants who are advised to bring updated resumes. More details, including the list of job openings, are available on PESO Albay's official online platforms. In the national scene, Senate and House officials have begun earlier than usual preparations for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s Fifth State of the Nation Address, or SONA, scheduled for July 27. A closed-door meeting was held on May 5 at the Senate, attended by Senate Secretary Mark Leandro Mendoza and House Secretary General Cheloy Garofil to discuss initial arrangements. Mendoza said the early start was due to the upcoming session break to allow ample time for preparation, stressing that meeting did not cover the possible impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte. He said talks focused on standard preparations such as security measures and coordination between both chambers, with Senate President Vicente Tito Soto III and House Speaker Faustino Boji D. III directing the event be kept simple amid current conditions. Mendoza added that details like whether there will be a red carpet are still under discussion with other stakeholders, while assuring that the Senate is prepared to receive any articles of impeachment should the House transmit them. In other story, inflation in the Philippines climbed to 7.2% in April, the highest level recorded in 3 years, the Philippine Statistics Authority or PSA reported. The surge was largely driven by the ongoing energy crisis, which continued to push up the cost of basic goods, especially food and transportation. This marked a sharp jump from the 4.1% inflation rate in March, when the Middle East conflict first triggered a spike in global oil prices. The April figure also exceeded the central bank's 2% to 4% target range and was higher than the 5.5% forecast of economists. Food prices accounted for the biggest share of the increase, contributing 37.3% to overall inflation as it rose to 6% from 2.9% the previous month. Transport costs followed, making up 33.1% of the rise as fuel prices surged, with gasoline increasing by 59.6% and diesel jumping by 122.7%. In other news, U.S. forces fired high-mobility artillery rocket system HIMARS rockets during a live fire drill at the La Paz Sand Dunes in Lawag City as part of the Balikatan 2026 exercises, showing their ability to strike targets far from shore. The HIMARS, mounted on a military truck, can quickly launch up to 6 guided rockets, extending the range of ground troops, according to U.S. Army officials leading the exercises. More than 800 troops from the Philippines, the United States, and Japan joined the counter-landing drills, marking the first time Japanese forces took part as active participants instead of observers. The exercises simulated stopping enemy forces from landing on Philippine shores, with troops using helicopters, artillery, tanks, drones, and missile systems to hit targets on land and at sea. Military leaders said the drills aim to improve coordination and modern defense skills among allied forces, stressing that the training is routine and not aimed at any specific country. And in the news outside the country, Asia is already dealing with tensions from conflicts in the Middle East and may soon face strong El Niño conditions that could raise energy demand, reduce high power supply, and harm crops. El Niño is a natural climate pattern that changes wind, air pressure, and rainfall around the world, often causing unusual weather like droughts and heavy rains. The World Meteorological Organization has warned that El Niño could develop between May and July and may become unusually strong, though experts said its exact strength is still uncertain. If it intensifies, it could bring extreme weather to Asia, including droughts and heat waves in some areas and heavy rains or floods in others, affecting countries like Indonesia and others in Southeast Asia. Energy systems may come under the pressure as hotter weather increases electricity use, while hydropower drops, especially as some regions also face fuel supply and trade disruptions linked to tensions around key shipping routes. Experts also warn that agriculture could suffer from higher costs and lower crop yields, and they said countries should strengthen energy systems by using more renewable sources like solar and wind to better handle climate shocks. In other story, the U.S. military said it used force against Iranian boats it described as threatening civilian ships and reported sinking 6 small vessels while trying to secure and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The United Arab Emirates said it was attacked by Iran for the first time since a recent ceasefire, reporting missiles and drones were intercepted and that one drone caused a fire at an oil facility that injured 3 foreign workers. Iran did not clearly confirm the attacks, but officials suggested the incidents were caused by U.S. military actions and warned the United States and its allies against escalating tensions in the region. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz was heavily disrupted, with reports of burning cargo vessels, missile alerts in the UAE, and airlines and ships changing routes due to safety concerns. The United States said it has begun a security operation to keep the strait open for trade, while Iran insists it will resist foreign military presence as the diplomatic talks between the two sides show little progress. And finally, in the news outside the country with reference to the Philippines, in a recent report, the Asian Development Bank, ADB, said the Philippines is among the countries with the most complete policy responses to the global economic effects of the Middle East conflict. The report noted that the Philippines used measures across 7 of 8 key areas, including fuel subsidies, tax cuts, price controls, supply actions, and support for vulnerable sectors to help manage rising costs. It also found that the Philippines and India were the only 2 countries that actively diversified fuel sources, while the government said its Uplift program helped coordinate agencies under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to stabilize the economy. Despite this, labor groups in the Philippines have staged protests over fuel price increases, while the government maintains that its assistance programs and subsidies continue to support affected sectors. And that's the news at 12 May 6, 2026. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. And thanks to our news writers, Naomi Ruth Hernandez and LJ Lurejo. And on the technical side, Tad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Office OIC, Marty Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor Noel Irusal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing. Albay in my heart.